My name is Loris Cro. I'm a developer advocate at Redis Labs, and this is a video for developers about scaling applications using Redis Pub sub. So what do these applications all have in common? Social apps, multiplayer games, dashboards, and finally, collaborative tools. So these applications are all real-time applications. What do I mean by real-time? So they are real-time because whenever a user makes an interaction, every other user can see the result of that interaction immediately. And to do so, these applications make use of WebSockets. So how does that work in practice? Basically, you have your application, and your application holds a bunch of WebSocket connections to its clients. So here you have one WebSocket client, this is another WebSocket client. And in your code, what you do usually is that you keep a list of all these WebSocket connections. And whenever one of these users makes an interaction, you propagate that to every other WebSocket connection in the list. Of course, in practice, you have more than one list, not only one, because not everybody is interested in everybody else's activity. So for example, for social apps, one of these lists could correspond to a chat group, for example, or for multiplayer games, each one of these would be a different match, and so on. Now, at one point, you'll need to scale that application horizontally because you will either want to have more than one instance to be able to sustain more clients connected at the same time, or because you want to add some resiliency to your system because you want to have the system continue working when a node fails. So you need high availability at that point. So this is the point where your application from a single instance becomes two different instances that want to look like a single thing to their clients, but they're not anymore. Now there are two separate processes, maybe deployed on two different machines, who knows. So this is instance 1, for example, and this is instance 2. And of course, instance 2 will have its own list of WebSockets, right? So here it is, WebSockets, all the entries that correspond to its own WebSocket client. Now here's the problem. Now that you have two instances, you need, and maybe here you have also multiple lists. Now here's the problem. You need events that happen in one instance to be propagated to all other instances, right? So you need something like this. You need to allow them to be in sync. And this is where Redis Pub sub comes in. So the reason I recommend Redis Pub sub over alternatives either in Redis or other products is because Redis Pub sub is very lightweight and meant to allow you to do real-time communication at very high throughput and keeping the latency very low. I wrote a blog post that I link in the description where I compare Redis Pub sub with other alternative messaging solutions. So if you want to read more, I recommend to check out that. And finally, I want to mention that Redis Pub sub is very useful also to solve other types of coordination problems between instances of the same application. It's not just for real-time applications, but they can also help you solve problems like cache stampedes, which are very annoying to solve without the proper tools. I also linked into the description one talk that I gave on the subject. One last thing. If you want to learn more about Redis, go to redis.io to learn more and read the documentation. Or if you want something more visual, check out our free courses on university.redislabs.com.